this today, and like she said, this is my first convention, and I really enjoyed being here last night and today. So my name is Samantha Sinclair, and I am from Russell County, and I was just blessed last week to publish my 14th book. It has been an incredible journey to get here. So it started out, I was diagnosed with optic nerve hypoplasia when I was 3 months old. They originally thought I had tumors behind my eyes, but thank God that was not the case. So I started reading Braille when I was 3. So it's really, I guess print is second nature to me, because I can see out of my right eye. I can look around and see there's people, but I can't make you all out, if that makes sense. My left eye is mainly light and shadows, and I've noticed I'm losing vision in that left eye, which is okay. So throughout school, I enjoyed writing short stories in Braille. I was the kid, you told me to write 1 page, I would write a page and a half or 2. Laura can tell you that. She had to put print on my stuff. So that developed into an interest in, when I was a teenager, I was dealing with a lot, and that's been the way that I've coped with stuff, is writing and singing.
Yeah.
And so I had this really strong desire to write a novel. So from early teens on, I tried and failed. I would get so far. And I finally realized I'm doing this of myself and not with the leading of God. So when I was 19 or 20, somewhere in there, I gave it to the Lord, maybe 21. And I said, Lord, if you want me to write, you give me the plot, you give me the story line, and the title and all this, and I'll do it. Here we are, 14 books later. And the neat thing that, I love writing about, I do Christian fiction, and I love emergency services. My desire is to be a 911 dispatcher, and unfortunately no one has saw fit to give me an opportunity yet. We all know why in this room. So it's important to me to include emergency services in my books, but also disability is a big thing. The God's Silver Lining book series focuses on so many things, but childhood visual impairment and adult visual impairment is really focused on in that series. Also, I just released a book of 3 short stories, and the first one in that book series in the book there is about a visually impaired mother. So that, I enjoyed writing that. I guess one of the hardest things that I've had to learn being an author, as far as, there's been quite a few things, but as far as with the visual impairment standpoint, would be editing. Editing is a challenge, because I can't look at the screen and say, oh, there's a red line, I have a mistake. So I physically go through with my arrow keys, read each line. If something sounds off, I fix it. I've tried to improve my editing skills, and I have, and it's helped in a lot of ways. But I'm not there yet. I'm working on it. And I guess another thing too, when I was using a laptop, I no longer use a laptop to write my books, because for some reason a laptop wants to move your stuff around in the document. So that was a challenge of finding where my computer had moved a specific sentence to. It was rather frustrating. So, and I get the question a lot, how do you write your books? Do you use a Braille writer? Anybody that uses a Braille writer can laugh at that question, because my wrist would be so sore. So no, it's like, no, I use a computer. Well, how do you use a computer? Okay, seriously? Let's talk about that. No, I know the keyboard. So, you get some interesting questions. You all know that. But I think, the thing that, I guess one of the big things that it's helped me to improve me as a person with writing is, I've learned to go with it. Because, you know, in life, we have to, you know, how it is. Transportation is hard. You know, so we all make mistakes. So all this ties in with me being an author because I've had to go back so many times and fix, excuse me, and fix something. And I think, man, I shouldn't do that, or, you know, I need to stay out of the way of this story. But, and I pull that into life, you know, just let it roll, just go with it. And it'll end up how it's supposed to. But it's hard because we as humans want to control. We can't. So, you know, just have faith and go with it. But with my visual impairment, the way that I have learned to live with it is this. Early 20s. I'm 28 now, and I'm thankful that, you know, I say I'm thankful God's teaching me stuff young because it's helped me in so many ways. But I, one day was alone in my room. I was praying, and the Lord told me, He made me a promise that one day I'll see perfectly. And I said, you know, hey, that's a promise from my Father. If that's on this earth or if that's in heaven, I can live with that. I'm satisfied with that. So that is how I have came to terms with my visual impairment. And again, that's helped me in so many areas of life because there's so much we can't control. So, you know, whether that be in your personal life, in your career, and frustrations with how people who are not familiar with visual impairment test your patience. Yeah. You know, it'll be okay. And I admire parents who are visually impaired. I admire them all because I'm sure that's a challenge. I have nieces and nephews, and I have helped my sister take care of them since they were babies. So, you know, I'm used to doing that. And I was telling Angela about this. She knows what I'm going to say. I had an incident where someone told me that I didn't need to be babysitting that many children because if a social worker was called, social services would take those kids away. Well, yeah. Yeah, and I speak my mind. So I was thinking I better walk away from this person right now. But I told her, I said, look, they're visually impaired parents.
Yes,
so,
ma'am.
Yeah, and again, I admire you all. And so, you know, I told her, I was like, there's visually impaired parents. I said, I took care of these kids since they were little. They're just like my own, you know. And so, I guess I say all that to say, just stand up, stay strong. You're not alone. We're all together. And I'm thankful I found the NFB because I'm glad to have found a community. So, thank you all for having me, and I hope to come back next year. Thank you.